You know, we have a great, robust ag economy in the great state of North Dakota. You'll notice on our logo we have wheat on one end and oil on the other. And we're lucky, we're blessed. We have two, I call them the bookends of North Dakota's economy that keep us recession-proof. But you know, there's a lot of states that have agriculture. Minnesota has agriculture. They also have a $6 billion deficit. You know, South Dakota's got agriculture, and they got a $1 billion+ deficit. You know, Kansas has got it. Oil is the deal maker. It's the game changer, and it is so important. And it's just so easy to spend and spend and spend and not realize what opportunities we have here. So we really think it's time to have a robust discussion about fixing the tax. We're going to leave you here today, before you leave, with a couple of things we'd like you to do. One of them is engage your legislators. We have a legislative session going on in Bismarck right now. It's extremely important. We can make a difference more there than we can ever in Washington, D.C. because they're closest to us. So you have no idea the power you have in your own hands. I had a joke during the whole Obamacare debate. I said, a call a day will keep Congress in bay. And it's true. I mean, the phones ring, they get scared. An email, I mean, that's like 100 people walking in their office. A phone call. So you can make a difference. And on the website at fixthetax.com, we have a place called Take Action. But now we want to start thinking about 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years from now, when we have the highest oil tax in the lower 48, and we spend and spend and spend. Is that the best use of our tax dollars? Is that the best tax system to extend this prosperity for your kids, grandkids, and their kids and grandkids? That's the discussion we want to have today. And there's nobody better to lead it than our former governor and USA Secretary Ed Schafer. Please give him a warm welcome.
Tried this without the microphone. Can everybody hear me all right? Yeah. My voice is hard. It's hard to hear. It's hard to hear over there. Use the microphone. Is that better? Is that better? I'm Scandinavian and talk with my hands. It's hard to do with the microphone. But anyway, thank you all for joining us. I really appreciate it. Scott was mentioning that I'm the former governor and the former Secretary of Agriculture. Seems like I'm the former everything these days. Which is why it's a little easier to be here, by the way. But I was recently introduced at an event similar to this as a former Ed Schafer. So I'm not sure what that's all about, but I'm glad to be with you tonight and to have this discussion, public discussion, about the future of North Dakota and the balance of taxes and revenues and expenditures. We're interested in hearing from you and what you're thinking about North Dakota and North Dakota's future. And I think that to start the discussion, I'd like to maybe follow two quick pathways in our state. One historical and one from a government perspective. And the historical one, most of you in this room will remember that we've gone through two boom and bust cycles in our state. In the 1950s, when oil was first discovered, we had a lot of revenues in, and our legislature, our budget folks, our legislators started looking at straight-lining revenues just continuing on up in the future, and we tied government programs to that revenue stream. And then, knowing that, we know now that the cyclical nature of oil and gas got us in trouble when prices went down. We couldn't pay for the money because the revenues, we couldn't pay for our programs because the revenues weren't coming in. And we had to raise taxes, we had to cut programs, and it really hurt North Dakota for many years when we were on that down cycle. And I want to lay on top of that what's happening in our government today. We're on a boom cycle, of course, and it's working really well. Bless you, sir. It's working really well. We've got a lot of revenues coming in. As a matter of fact, in the last budget, $800 million came in from oil extraction taxes into the state revenue, the state coffers from that extraction tax. In this budget cycle that we're in right now, it's moved to $2 billion. And in the next budget cycle, they're talking about it being somewhere between $3 and $4 billion. As that oil revenue has started to come in, our state started investing in our infrastructure, in our people, in education and health and safety programs, and said, we're going to tie this once again to these oil revenues, which we expect to continue to go up. We've doubled the size of our government in the 10 years since I've been in office. 2 times our expenditures and our size of government programs. That's been a good thing. We've been able to live within our means. We've had the dollars coming in. We haven't had to borrow or get in debt or the other 49 states are having all kinds of problems. We're really in good shape, and so that's been a wonderful thing. But what I'm concerned about is we are looking after this budget cycle and into the next, a point to where we'll be pushing 35% of our budget, our state budget, is going to be dependent on oil and gas tax revenues. With that as a background, I'm interested in what you have to say, because I believe that 5 years from now, 8 years from now, at some point in time, we need to be competitive with our tax structure with our neighbors. If you only look at the Bakken geographical formations, they flow under Montana, they flow in Saskatchewan, there's a big pool of oil, and right now we have an 11.5% extraction tax. Montana has a 9.25% extraction tax. South Dakota has a 4%. Oklahoma and Texas have 7%. And so are we going to be competitive? Today we are, because we've got the oil, but 85% of production value drops off in 3 years from a new well. So instead of a 200 barrel a day well, we're going to have a 50 barrel a day well or less. The future of our state. So who's going to be first?
And I will bring the microphone over to you just so we can hear you.